afternoon inmiddels. I'm going to do my presentation in English. So my name is Ingeborg Boswinkel, and as was said before, I had a heart attack when I was 51. Out of the blue, I thought I was a relatively young, healthy woman, and it was really a shock to experience something like that. So it happened in Aruba when we were there for the Christmas holiday. We were visiting my parents-in-law that lived there, and I was doing nothing basically. I was sitting in the house of my parents-in-law, watching something on my computer, and all of a sudden I felt strange. I felt I started sweating profusely. I was feeling like my bra was too tight. It's like, geez, I have to, take off my bra. It was feeling so tight. I started having pain in my jaws, in my shoulders, and I became very tired. While there was no reason for me to be tired, so I was at home there with only my children because my husband and my mother-in-law went to the hospital to pick up my father-in-law, who was at the hospital and had to come home. So I was there alone, and I was like, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm going to lie down. So I went to a room, and my oldest daughter, who was 16 at the time, she followed me, and she's like, "What's going on? Are you not feeling well?" And so I told her what I was feeling, and then she Googled on her phone the symptoms that I had, and she's like, this is not good. It looks like something with your heart. And I was like, no way, that cannot be the case. I'm just feeling a little stressed and bad, and don't worry. But she called my husband, and he was like, okay, I'm coming home in like an hour, so it's okay. But she didn't feel comfortable with the way things were, so she decided to call the ambulance. And the ambulance came, and they checked my blood pressure, and they did a heart film, and they found out that there was indeed something wrong with my heart. So while my husband was taking his father back home from the hospital, I was rushed to the same hospital with the ambulance with my daughter together with me. And while we were in the emergency room, they took my blood, and then they saw in the blood that there were some enzymes that they could tell there was damage to my heart already. So I was like, how can this happen? They had to take me into the heart monitoring room where they put all these stickers on you, and they check your heart all the time. And I had to do hoe heet dat in het Engels? When they make a filmpje from your heart, they go with the camera through your nerves, and they make a movie from your heart. So I was laying there, and I could see my own heart on the screen. And they found there was some damage done. So I had to stay overnight in the hospital, which was actually the night before Christmas. So I spent Christmas Eve in the hospital. And then the next day, they gave me a big bag of medicines and one A4 with some information about heart attack, and they sent me home. And I was like, okay, how did this happen? How could this have happened? What do I do now? How do I, recover from this? So I started reading up, and I started talking to people, to doctors, to cardiologists. I started reading books about the heart, and I found out that the female heart is a lot different from the male heart, which is something that I never knew. So based on all the research that I did and all the talking that I did with experts, I decided to write a book, which is what you see here, De Lessen van mijn Vrouwenhart, because I wanted to give the information that I had found to other women for them to prevent what happened to me. So that is basically my story in a nutshell. And I have a little movie that I want to show you, where you can see what it looks like when a woman gets a heart attack. Because what we all know from movies or from what you hear is that a heart attack is something that a man gets. It's an older man that's maybe working out too hard or having too much stress, and then he feels a lot of pain in his chest on the left side, and his arm feels pain, and then he just falls to the ground, and that's what we think is a heart attack. But for a woman, it looks much different. So there's a little movie that I will show you that there's no blood in it. It's not scary, so don't worry. But it gives you an idea what it looks like when a woman has a heart attack.
It started out like a totally normal day.
There's no sound.
Mom! Okay, move objection deadline to the third line after survey. Oh, honey, for when you always use the verb start. What are you doing down there? Did you finish your breakfast?
Ow.
Whew. Don't hit your brother. Honey, you have to eat something. Here. Okay, 5 minutes to carpool. Where's my coffee?
You okay, Mom?
Oh, I'm fine. Sandwich orders. What do you want?
Almond butter and jelly.
Spaghetti.
Oh, you sure you're okay?
I'm fine, sweetie.
I am so late. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hey, honey. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Oh, yeah. Here.
Acai, my favorite. See you guys later.
Wear your shoes. Put your shoes back on, please. Go help your sister. We're going in 3 minutes. Oh my God, what am I doing? I forgot to cut off the crust. Voila. Shoes on, potty if you need it. Honey, get your sister. Okay, here. Nobody move. I'm getting a dustpan. Oh.
Mom! I think you're having a heart attack.
Honey, do I look like the type of person who has a heart attack? I'm just gonna sit down. I'm totally fine. Don't forget to wear the high socks with the shin guards.
Forget about the shin guards, Mom.
Come on, Mrs. Underdog is not gonna wait. Whoa. Okay. 9, 1, 1. Hi, sorry to bother you. I think I might be having a little heart attack. Nothing really, just some nausea, tightening of the jaw, dizziness, shortness of breath, muscle pain, achiness, this terrible pressure in my chest. Oh, really? They can be here in how long? 2 minutes. Can you make it 10? I thought I had gas. Turns out I was having a heart attack. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women. So now I take care of my heart, and I tell the women in my life to do the same.
Sounds great, by the way.
That's nice, sweetie, but that's not my heart. That is. Make it your mission to save your life and the lives of the women you love. Find out more from the American Heart Association at goredforwomen.org.
Yes. So I think this is a situation that we as women can all relate to. You're very busy, you have your work, you have your family, you have your husband, and then, you get so busy that you forget all about yourself. It's also what the speakers before me talked about, we have to take care of ourselves as women. So, and you see the symptoms. She was sweating, she thought she had gas because it feels more like something in your stomach than your heart. And you, as a woman, you really don't think that something can be wrong with your heart. But it does happen, and in fact, it's the #1 killer of women, not only in the United States, but in all the Western countries, also in Holland. The figures in Holland are every day, one woman dies in traffic or with traffically related injuries. 9 die from breast cancer, and 57 die from heart diseases every day. So 1, 9, and 57. And the weird thing is that for traffic accidents, we have all kinds of preventive measures. We have the seat belts, we have the speed bumps, we have speed limits to prevent people to get traffic accidents. We have for breast cancer, we have the breast screening that every woman has to go to for free, and we all know that we have to do monthly checkup of our own breasts. But for heart disease, there's hardly any knowledge, any information, so women don't get the information that they need for their heart health. So that's why it's my mission, since I had a heart attack, to spread the information so women become aware of the risks. So a heart attack is basically where the arteries around your heart get clogged up by plaque. So the normal blood flow is obstructed by the plaque that is formed due to either cholesterol or that it's damaged because, for example, when you smoke, that's what I did, and I never knew smoking is bad for your heart. I always thought it's bad for your lungs, but it's worse for your arteries because it causes the inside of the arteries to have damage, and then the plaque can get stuck. So eventually, when the arteries are clogged up too much, the blood cannot flow anymore, and then you get what you see there, the brown area where the heart doesn't get oxygen anymore from the blood, so then it dies basically, because the heart is a muscle and it needs oxygen. So when it doesn't get the oxygen, it dies. So this is what happened to me also. Fortunately, by me it was a small part, so I don't have any permanent damage, even though I still have to use medicines, probably for the rest of my life, but the damage is not so big. And the thing with women is that the damage is often very small, but more than one small damage. With men, the damage is mostly in a big artery where a big part of the heart doesn't get oxygen, so then it's mostly fatal. But with women, it's more sneaky in little parts on the heart. So then you have these different symptoms, like your bras too tight, or the pain in the jaws and in the shoulders. It's very different from what men experience. Okay. So the symptoms, especially for females, are these. And it's very important for you to know these symptoms, because if you have those symptoms and you have more than one at the same time, or you have them over time, you should go to a doctor and have your heart checked, because there might be something wrong with your heart. And it's not always that you have a heart attack, but it can be that your arteries are already clogged and you need to do something about it. And they can see that when they make a ECG. Okay. The tricky thing of this is that for women, when they come in the menopause, you get also this kind of symptoms, like the sweating, the tiredness, the anxiety. So it's oftentimes confused with menopause. So a lot of times when women go to the doctor, the huisarts, with these kind of symptoms, they hear, oh, it's the menopause and you just have to be more relaxed and don't worry about it, while they actually have symptoms for heart disease. Okay. Yeah, so what I explained for females and males, it's different how the heart gets plaque, because we all have heard probably about plaque and that it builds up in the inside of your arteries, but in women it's spread all over a little bit in the small arteries, while for men it's oftentimes a big prop that is in a big artery. So in men, it's oftentimes fatal, and in females, it builds up over time, and you don't really feel it immediately, but you can walk around with symptoms for a long time before you actually get a heart attack. Okay, there's more differences between men and women for heart disease. The menopause itself, because in the menopause your blood pressure increases, your cholesterol level increases, and your weight increases, which are all risk factors for heart disease. Stress, the previous speakers talked also about mental well-being. It's very important for women, especially after 40 years of age, to take care of your stress levels, because the female heart is very susceptible for stress, much more so than the male heart. And we as women, we make it ourselves very difficult oftentimes, because when we have trouble at work, we go home with the work and the trouble, and we keep thinking about it, and we talk to our partner about it, our friends about it, while men more often tend to, leave the work behind and go fish or do something that they forget about everything. But women are warriors. So we have to be careful not to do that too much. Another thing that most women don't know is that there's a relationship between problems that you had when you were pregnant and heart disease later on. So women that had high blood pressure in their pregnancy have a higher chance on heart disease later on. And if you know that you have a higher risk, you can take more care of your heart, and you can make smarter decisions on your lifestyle. Other female risk factors are, for example, if you had migraine when you were in your youth, miscarriages, psoriasis, all kinds of health problems that lead to a higher risk for heart disease later on. So if you know that you have one of these risk factors, you have to make sure that you take good care of your heart and live healthy, or even probably more healthier than you would otherwise. The medical science has been based on the male body, actually the white male body, for centuries. So all the diagnostic apparatus, the medicines, all of that is based on the male body. And that is not always good for the female body. So for example, the heart rhythm movie that they make from your heart, is the hartslag, the beat, is based on the beat of a male heart. So your heartbeat is being measured against the male heartbeat, which is, when we think about it, ridiculous, because the female heart is smaller, it beats faster, so why would you compare it to a standard white male heartbeat? So there's still a lot to do in the medical science for female health, heart health. Also, medicines are being tested on male rats. So in the labs, all the rats are male. So you cannot always use the same medicine for females as for males. And the last one is reanimation. The research shows that when women get a heart attack on the street or in the supermarket, the chance that they are being reanimated is smaller than for male. And the reasons for that is that when you do a reanimation course, the POP, the doll that you have to practice on doesn't have breasts. So a lot of times when people have to reanimate a woman, they're like, oh, okay, I haven't practiced this. How do I do this? It's recently the Curaçao Heart Foundation got the first female doll to practice on, because forever they had used male dolls. And also, when something happens to you in the street or in the supermarket, people are afraid to touch female breast. So they just rather stay away and don't help you. Okay, then the good news is that with your lifestyle, you can prevent 80% of heart problems, cardiovascular diseases. And there were speakers before me that talked about lifestyle, about healthy eating, about moving. But you have to know what your starting point is. You have to know your figures. So those are the most important figures for heart disease. Your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your body mass index, and your belly buikomvang. I don't know. So your blood pressure is something that you can measure with a blood pressure meter. You can buy one yourself, or you can go to your doctor to get it checked. And it's very important. And in Curaçao, the average blood pressure is very high. There's a lot of people with high blood pressure. So it's very important to have it checked at least twice a year. When you get to 40, 45, you have to get your blood pressure checked, because it's something that you don't feel. When your blood pressure rises, you don't feel it. It's like, for example, I had high blood pressure, but I didn't know it. I had high cholesterol, but I didn't know it. I thought I was healthy, but in my body, something was going on, and I didn't realize it. So those two is very important for you to keep track of. Same with body mass index, and it's not only your weight, but it's the weight compared to your height. And the last one, buikomvang, is you measure your waist, exactly, waist, just above your belly button, and it has to be for women 80 centimeters, which is not much, I can tell you. For men, it's, I think, 90. Yes. And the reason for that is that your fat on your belly is worse for you than fat in your buttocks or your arms or on your hips, because it clogs the ingewanden organs. Yes. Okay. So those are the figures that you have to take care of and measure. And then if you have higher risk, or if you get older, 45, 50, you get in menopause, you have to do something about your lifestyle to stay healthy and to keep your heart healthy. And I have designed a method for that. It's called Fit, Food, Focus, Fun. Means fit is for moving more, doing exercises, being in shape. Food is about what you eat and drink. Focus is stress management. And the fun part is that you have to make it fun for yourself, because it's impossible to change your lifestyle when it makes you unhappy. You know, it has to be fun. If you don't like running, don't go running. You know, if you don't like to eat sea moss, then find something else that you like. Just an example. So you have to make it sustainable for yourself. So what I did, I always thought that yoga was nothing for me. It's like, oh, that is something for older women, and they just lay on the floor and do nothing. I will fall asleep. But then somebody said, yeah, but you have so much stress, you need to do something about it, so go try it. So I went to a yoga school, and I actually like it a lot. And it's not at all laying on the floor doing nothing. It's actually, you know, depending on what type of yoga, it can be very intensive. But you can also do relaxed yoga, restorative yoga. So there's so many different types of yoga that I never knew about. So I experienced something completely new, and up to this day I still do yoga. So, and it helps me a lot. So you just have to try something. You know, maybe you think it's nothing for you, but maybe you like it. You can join maybe, there's a swimming club for older people that want to swim laps. Maybe you like that. And it's not competitive or something, but it's just twice a week, you swim laps, it's nice, afterwards you talk, and it's gezellig. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. And the last one, that was actually for me, you have to quit smoking. Anybody who smokes in here, especially women, it's very bad. It's not so bad for your lungs, it's very bad for your arteries and for your heart. It damages the inside of your arteries. Yes. So fit food, focus, fun. The fit part is that the rule is that you have to make 10,000 steps per day. And how do you know 10,000 steps? Well, you have to have a smartwatch or on your phone an app that counts your steps. And the 10,000 is the rule in Holland, which is not really realistic for here, because in Holland you do much more walking than here. Here we take the car for everything. So my rule is 8,000. So I try to walk 8,000 steps every day. Another rule is that you should be moving 2.5 hours per week, in more or less intensive moving. So that can be either half an hour per day, or it can be twice a week, an hour and 15 minutes, depending on what you like, how you can schedule it in your daily life. And it doesn't have to be something that you have to go to a gym. You can do a lot at home. Nowadays with YouTube, you have YouTube instructions about everything, about yoga, about weight training. There's all sorts of YouTube films that you can watch. Then food, there was a lot of information about food already. There's one more tip that I would like to give about food, and that is about the processed food that you also said that is bad for you. Well, how do you prevent from buying processed food? That goes as follows. Everybody knows Centrum Supermarket, Mahai? Yeah? Everybody's been to Centrum Supermarket, Mahai? Yes, okay. So you get into the store, you take a right, you pass the flowers, or you buy them if you want. Then you get to the milk and kaas section, right? So you buy the yogurt, the zero-fat yogurt, you buy the cheese, and you buy, what else? Maybe, cheese is good, right? Goat cheese, mozzarella cheese, those are better cheeses with less fat. Okay, then you go to the next area, the vegetables and fruits, you stock up on those. Then you go to the next fish. You buy your fish. Fish is very healthy, it's good for you. Fatty fish is good for you. With the hoe heette die vetten? Meervoudig verzadigde, I don't know, vetten. You buy them. Then you go to the, what do they have there? Meat, right? So you buy chicken. It's very healthy. Put chicken in your cart. Then you get to the beleg. You pass the beleg. Beleg is not good for you. Then you get to the breads, you buy your lekker brown bread. Then you come to the frozen fruits and vegetables, put them in. And then, yeah, that's it. Then you go to the kassa. You don't have to go into any of those lanes in the middle. Don't go there. Okay, you can buy toilet paper. Nuts. Well, for the nuts, you have to go to the nut house. Yeah! Yes. So basically, that's it. Everything that's bad for you is in the middle. Don't go there. Very simple. Just make the rondje by the walls. That's it. That's my tip for food. Okay, and then stress management is the last part. Is what I said, yoga helps a lot. And being mindful, just, listen to your body. For example, breathing techniques that help a lot also to just calm down And those you can learn online, or you can learn them in a yoga studio. Those help a lot to just stay calm. And important, say no. Learn to say no. Because stress is when your heart says no and your mouth says yes. That's not good. Okay, I have one more slide, I think, which is very interesting. By moving, by being active, you actually make your heart healthier because you create your own arteries. So this person is an inactive person, and you see that the arteries are not as spread out around the heart. So when this person gets a plaque, this part of the heart will die. But this person is an active person, and it has much more arteries. So when there's a plaque causing the blood not being able to flow, it will go through what they call collaterals. The collaterals, those are the, hoe zeg je dat? De zijweggetjes, where the blood can still flow. So by moving, you actually make your own heart healthier. So the most important of the Fit Food Focused Fun is actually the moving. You have to be active to make your heart healthy. So that is my most important tip for moving. Thank you.